The law of diminishing marginal utility.
Hi! Have you ever wondered why that the more and more you choose to consume of a good, the less and less pleasure you get from it? The reason is simple. You're experiencing what is known as the law of diminishing marginal utility. So how does this concept affect the price of consumers going to pay for a good? Well, think about it. Let's say you compete a marathon in the heat of a thick sun. That means you're about to run 26.2 miles under the hot thick sun. As you approach the finish line, you're hot and tired and very thirsty. What would you pay for a sport drink? How good would the first thing of the sports drink taste? After gulping down the first bottle, you're still thirsty but no longer dying at first. Would a second sports drink be as satisfying as the first? How much would you be willing to pay for the second water bottle? After drinking the second bottle, you aren't thirsty anymore. Would a third sports drink be as wonderful and refreshing as the first? How much would you be willing to pay for the bottle sports drink now? If you get less and less pleasure from a good, the more and more you have of it. That affects your willingness to pay the same price for its additional module of the good. That's the law of diminishing marginal utility.
To explain the law of diminishing marginal utility, we need to obviously understand what utility and marginal utility are. Simply put, utility is the term economists like to use what you will feel after consuming the products you service. Whereas marginal utility represents the increase of utility you will experience after consuming one more unit of the products you service. The law of diminishing marginal utility, also called the Gassen's first law as a tribute to Henry Gassen, simply states that as you consume more, then marginal utility usually goes down.
The concept of marginal utility helps us in assessing these changes in consumer perception in terms of different levels of satisfaction in a more scientific way, known as law of diminishing marginal utility. The formula for marginal utility is expressed as a change in total utility divided by the change in the number of units of the good or service consumed. Mathematically, it is represented as marginal utility equals change in total utility divided by the change in number of units consumed. So to get the value of change in number of units consumed, we are going to subtract the final utility to the initial utility. And in getting the value of change in total utility, we are going to subtract the final quantity to the initial quantity. So let's take an example to understand the calculation of marginal utility in a better manner. Let us take the example of Sir Aidan, who purchased a shawarma sandwich with 4 pieces. Now the following information is available regarding his perceived utility after consumption of each piece of the shawarma sandwich. Calculate the marginal utility of each piece of the shawarma sandwich. So this Excel sheet shown how the marginal utility is calculated using the formula given above. We did 2 computations, the Excel and manual computation. Therefore, here we can see how the marginal utility of a piece of shawarma sandwich declines after the consumption of the previous one. Here, the highest utility is reached at the consumption of the third piece, beyond which a total declined. So this is a classic example of diminishing marginal utility. How does this concept apply to economics? Why do we care? This decrease seen with each successive unit of a product limits the demand for that particular product. This is why, when graphed, demand slopes downward.
If marginal utility falls sharply as successive units are consumed, demand is predicted to be inelastic. That is, price must fall of relatively largely amount before consumers will buy more of an item.
Successive units of the product yield similar and smaller amounts of marginal utility, so the consumer will buy more only in the price falls. Otherwise, is not worth it to buy more.
Well, buys once. Please thumbs up the law of diminishing marginal utility. Our conclusion is whether you're economist or the average consumers, it matters. And one more thing